Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially you nephew, welcome back to another Riftbound video. For today, we got back into some gameplay for you. I know we were missing out on that on the last video. So the next three videos should be gameplay videos. But for this first game, we are running Jinx, Loose Cannon. This is one of the leaders that I highlighted in the previous video, with having a fairly simple leader effect, something easy to learn the game around, so I thought it would be smart to start with a deck like this. Now, I did not build this deck list. This comes from a creator named Nisi, I think is how you pronounce that, over here on Piltover Archive. If you're looking for decks, this is where I go to look at decks. Yeah, here it is, Nisi. Is where I got this deck list from, just to try it out before I go and try to build my own, to see what other people are building, what works for other people, and what I can imitate. So later on we'll get some more of or some actual decks of my creation, but this comes from this creator, Nisi, which has a couple of decks here. Yeah, pretty looks like a deck for every leader. I know there's two here, but yeah, anyways, let's jump into the deck list and then we can jump right into the gameplay. So for our units for this deck, we are running two Jinx, one in the deck, one as our champion unit, or our chosen champion, I'm sorry. And her effect is Accelerate. You can pay one extra cost and one recycled red rune to have her enter ready. And she has Assault 2, so once she's an attacker, she gains +2, and she's starting at a 3/4, so when attacking, she becomes a 3/6. And then when you play me, discard 2. This is a strong effect in this deck when you want your hand size low to trigger your leader ability or legend ability. I'm gonna be calling them leaders for so long into this game. But yeah, we're just running two of these. One that's, you always have access to, and then hopefully you draw into the other one. We have Traveling Merchant, just a 2/2 body, and when I move, discard one, then draw one. And then this Vi 2/3, her effect is ganking, so she can move from battlefield to battlefield, and then recycle one from your trash and give me +1 this turn. I think I talked about this before when I played the Jinx deck in the proxies, but it doesn't say once per turn. Much like, let's see. Is there any other activated ability? Yeah, so I don't know if this is only once per turn or if you can do this infinitely, for as long as there's cards in your trash. But it does help when you're discarding so much, especially with cards like this, the Traveling Merchant, when you discard one and draw one, and the battlefield that you run in this deck, which is, Zon Warrens, which is also discard one and draw one. So you can lose on cards, but there's cards that you want to discard in this deck. But you can also recycle them back into your deck just in case games really go that long. Most likely they're not, but you more than likely are drawing 2 for turn. So this is a pretty good option for the Jinx deck. Our next unit is this 2/2 Legion Rearguard, and he also has Accelerate, so you can pay an extra rune and recycle the red to have him enter ready. It's just a 2/2, nothing too special, but it does give you an early, or it can give you a early conquer if you playing it correctly. And then we have this 2/2 Chemtech Enforcer. It has Assault 2, so when he's an attacker, he gains 2 might. So he becomes a 2/4 as an attacker. And then when you play me, discard 1. So this is a bit more towards your leader effect than this discard 1 and draw 1, because you're just discarding 1 and you're losing it from your hand. So you are losing 2 cards from your hand just by playing this. You're playing him out and then you're discarding an extra card. And it seems to be, which I guess I should talk about now. This discarding effect is when your character has is how I'm viewing it. This may not be, you know, this isn't coming from the balance team or whatever, but the balance seems to be you're forced to discard one when your character is cheap with a fairly strong effect, because this is a 2/4 attacker, which is a pretty insane stat line. This is a 2/2, this is a 2/2, this is a 3/3, and that seems to be most of the stat lines, or that's how most of these stat lines follow. They're or what I've seen mostly is they're even to their cost, outside of like really large cards, but you know, larger energy cost cards normally have better effects. And so this has a good effect, but also you're forced to discard one. So you can't really just throw this in any old deck, but it works really well in this Jinx deck, and especially with these other cards that we're about to go over. Immortal Phoenix, also 3/3 with Assault 2, but when you kill a unit with a spell, you may pay 1 and a recycled red rune to play me from your trash. So you can take this, you know, you can discard it with him, and then if you kill a unit with the spell, you can pay it, you know, that extra, and get a unit for removing a body, which is also a strong unit because it's Assault 5, so you can play this to your base, and then on your next turn you have a 5 attacker at the ready, with also your accelerate options with the rear guard and the Jinx if you have those available to you. But yeah, just pretty strong card here. Make a terrible misplay though, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Next we have this 3/2 sneaky deckhand, and it says you may play me to an open battlefield. And since we were talking about stat lines earlier, this is a weaker stat line, being 3 cost but 2 might, but the ability essentially gets you a point, because being in an open battlefield means that there's nobody there, so you get there and a showdown instantly starts. And if your opponent has nothing to react to it, you just instantly conquer. So I think it would be a bit too strong if this one was 3 and 3, and you could just play it to any open battlefield. So I think that's how I've been seeing, or how I've been viewing the stat lines in this game currently. Maybe that'll change with more testing to come later, but we'll see. Next we have Flame Chompers unit. It's just funny because this isn't the guy, it's the bombs that's surrounding him. If you play League of Legends, Flame Chompers is one of Jinx's abilities, which is funny that this isn't a spell, but it has a cool effect either way. It's when you discard me, you may you may recycle a red rune to play me. So much like this Immortal Phoenix, but this one just comes as soon as you discard it. You can recycle a rune for it, but it's only a 3/3. It doesn't have the Assault 2 like this Immortal Phoenix, but it's still a good card to keep your aggression in this deck. Next we have this Noxus Hopeful Legion. It says I cost 2 less energy cost to play. If you played another card this turn, pretty simple effect. It's a 4/4 that becomes a 2/4 if you played another card this turn. We have this Darius champion unit. This is when you play a second card this turn, give me +2 this turn and ready me. So this is pretty strong. Excuse me. Especially in a deck like this, where there's so many low cost cards to play. You have all these 2 cost units that you can play, and then this will become a 2 cost unit after you play this. And then these 1 cost spells that also count, so that you can consistently get him out and ready and buffed as soon as you play him. So he's pretty strong in this deck. And then it's Draven. It says my might is increased by your points. So he starts at a 5/3, but every point you get, his might goes up, so he can become a really strong late game card. I assume that's what he's in this deck for. I don't get to play him in our testing, but his ability does seem really strong, and I understand why it's in this deck, because Most of our might caps out at 7. He is our highest might card, but that's only if we get to play 2 cards a turn, and that's only if he sticks, right? Um, assuming that this can only happen once, he is our highest might unit. Outside of this, Draven, which you might want to play later in the game. And then we have the Brazen Buccaneer. It says, as you play me, you may discard a card as an additional cost and reduce my cost by 2. So he's a 6/5, but he can become a 4/5 if you discard a card for it, which, much like this Chemtech Enforcer, really adds to your legend effect. So those are the units for the games. For the gear that he ran, it is only 3 Seals of Rage. This is important because it adds a red rune, sort of as if you played Magic the Gathering, a mana rock, that can just consistently add a red rune because you are doing so much rune recycling in this deck. He recycles a rune, she recycles a rune, she recycles 2 if you want her to come in ready. He recycles a rune if you discard and play him, and the Phoenix also recycles a rune if you play her from your trash. So it's a lot of rune recycling in this deck, and especially when we get down to this card here. So it's good to have these Seals of Rage as consistent runes that you don't have to recycle. For our spells, we're only running 9. 2 Cleaves. It's an action card, so you can give or play it on your turn or in showdowns. Give a unit Assault 3 this turn, and then that's just +3 might while it's an attacker. Which is cool that it is an action, because that means you don't have to play this and then attack. You can actually attack, see what your opponent is going to do, and then play this as an action to give your unit or a unit +3 might as an attacker. That's the only thing about this card, is that it has to be an attacker. It's not just +3 might. And then we have Dust, which is reaction you can play this anytime, even before spells, and abilities resolve. So these are your instant speeds if you play Magic. Return a unit at a battlefield with 3 or less to the owner's hand. So this can be used offensively, but for the most part, this really just protects most of our board. All of these can be brought back because except for the Jinx, but yeah, all up until the Noxus Hopeful can be brought back to hand. So you can continuously or to reflood the board, or just add back to your hand to be discarded later on, and protect them so they don't just die. Because that is, like I said, we are running really low mights, especially on defense, outside of these 2. So this is just pretty good protection to keep at least an option of your characters, because when they die, and you gotta just hope for the draw. And then we have Fight or Flight. You can hide or hidden. So hide now for any recycled rune, and then react later for 0. And then in action, so you can play it on your turn and in showdowns. But it says move a unit from a battlefield to its base. So this is also protection for our units. For if there are, say we have, let's say they have this Jinx and this Traveling Merchant, and then they push in with 10 might. So we will only be at 6 might total, but we want to protect this Jinx because, she's more important than this guy. We can have play this as just 2 cost, or you can hide it and sort of play mind games with your opponent to have them move back from the battlefield to the base before damage goes through, thus protecting your units. For this final spell, we are running the signature spell, 3 of these, a Super Mega Death Rocket. It says deal 5 to a unit, 5 damage that is, and then when you conquer, you may discard a card to return this from your trash to your hand. So you are constantly, if you have this in your hand, you really only need the one. Actually, you really just need to have it in your trash, because as soon as you conquer, you can just trash a card from hand, have this back, and you constantly have a 4 cost in the recycle to deal 5 damage to any unit on the board. and you just keep replaying it, because when you play it, it goes to your trash, and say you clear the board or you clear the battlefield with it, then you conquer that battlefield, you trash someone from your hand, get it back for your next turn. So this just continuously becomes recycled. I think the only reason why we are running 3 is because it's very crucial to the game plan, so you do at least want to see it as much as possible. You don't want to have 1 just in the deck and never draw into it. But you really only need 1 to recycle like that. For our battlefields, like I already said, we have Zorn Warrens. When you conquer your discard 1 and draw 1. And then we have the Arena's Greatest. It's at the start of each player's beginning phase that player gains 1 point. So it sort of shortens the game. Each player gets 1 point, so technically you only have to get 7 points instead of 8. And then there is Reaver's Row. When you defend here, you may move a friendly unit here to base. So this also helps with the defensive options. Like I was saying with these 2 cards, just having a retreat for when you're attacked, so you can protect your more important characters that went to conquer in the first place. And then he's also running 12 Fury Runes, because there is no recycling for, the Chaos Rune. Which is something that I didn't think of, so it's actually really smart. This is red or purple you can recycle, but all of our units only recycle reds. Our purple units are only these 2, and they don't recycle at all, so there's no need for purple runes. So yeah, that is the deck list, and we're just gonna jump into the game from there. So we are running up against my brother-in-law again. He's playing a Volibear deck that he also got from Piltover Archive. I forgot which. I don't know I don't have his exact deck list, so I won't be able to go over that. But we're going. We both mulligan 1 card, bottom decking 1, and then drawing the next one. And I actually get into this media player is gonna make me upset, because I cannot. For full screen. Let's see if I can get this thing out the way, because you guys cannot see my. Yikes, that's not it. Alright, whatever, I'll just tell you. So I have a Fighter Flight in my hand, a Chemtech Enforcer in my hand, and the 0 cost Seal in my hand. So he goes first, gaining the 2 runes, and then using Mobilize to ramp 1 Rested. And then I actually forget to gain an extra rune here. But I play this Chemtech Enforcer to my base, which means I have to discard 1. I'm discarding the Super Mega Death Rocket, because I'll just conquer the next turn, because he has no units. I can conquer anywhere, essentially anywhere, give or take a spell coming out of his hand, and then I can trash 1 and get it right back. But for now, I would rather have these 2 as options, knowing that I can always get that back off of a conquer. So yeah, I forget to get an extra rune for going second, so I should have 2 here, but hopefully that doesn't matter much. But yeah, he goes to 5 to 2 currently, because I do have the Seal of Rage that sort of acts like a rune in my base. And get what he does here. I believe this is. Oh no, here it is. So he plays Misfortune to his base, tapping 5, recycling 1. And then, yeah, I'm debating on what's next for me. So I move this Chemtech, or I'm debating on what I'm trashing for the Super Mega Death Rocket. Because he's tapped out, I'll gain a point. I choose to do the. I'm pretty sure we get to choose how we want to activate the effect. So I choose to discard 1 and draw 1 with the Zon Warren's effect, rather than getting that back first. And now I get to decide which from my hand do I not want anymore to okay, so I play this to base, and then recycling that. Do I not do the effect here? So I do. Okay, a lot of things happen there. I don't know why I didn't grab it back from trash. I probably should have did that, but instead I decided to tap all 4 runes for this Noxus Hopeful, just playing its full cost because I haven't played another card this turn, and then I will recycle 1 and hide this card at the Zon Warrens so I can retreat him when I need to. And then I'm all tapped out and I pass. So I guess I just decide not to get the Super Mega Death Rocket. Don't know why. That's definitely needed because I would need that to kill the Misfortune. So a little bit of a misplay there. I guess I just forgot to do it. He plays Confront, which means that his characters come out ready, and then he plays this for 4, discarding 1, so that he costs 2 less. And then he moves his Misfortune up to attack. Oh right, so I'm trying to talk him through this turn because of her second ability, which we can talk about now. She has Accelerate, ganking, and also the first time I move each turn, you may ready something else that's exhausted. So that's anything on his board. He can ready a rune, but with 1 rune, especially in a deck like this, I doubt he really has things to do with it. So I'll walk him through this turn, which is he can move this Brazen Buccaneer here, or anywhere, more than likely here, yeah. Getting a Conquer point because I'm tapped out, I can't do anything about it. And then move this Misfortune to attack, untapping the Brazen Buccaneer. And now he at least has the option to retreat this if he wants, to have the bodies on board, or to confirm that I really can't do anything to this body on his board, and but still, gaining the point for it. And we also forgot to trigger his leader effect. He should have gained a rune rested for this Misfortune and a rune rested for this Brazen Buccaneer. So I decided to use this Fight or Flight. I'm debating on pushing this Misfortune back to stop him from conquering, or pushing my unit back to then attack into the Misfortune, hopefully killing her. And I think I decide to push my unit back, giving her the Conquer, but leaving her at the battlefield so that she is open for attacks, and hopefully I can get rid of her. Because that ganking effect is very strong in this game. In which that's probably would have been my play, is move this back to my base, sort of protecting him from attacking, and then hoping that there's no, especially because I did not grab the Super Mega Death Rocket from my trash, that they can't get over my Misfortune. But because I move this back, I will be able to. They're tapped out. There's no tricks that they can play tapped out at this point. But there's a good reason why. So I'll just let the video play instead of spoiling. So they get the discard 1, draw 1. Oh yeah, he realized that he was putting things at the top of his deck, not at the discard. So you just gotta fix that for a second. But yeah, now it's my turn. So I get lucky, I draw into another Super Mega Death Rocket, never punished. But either way I would have gotten it back, because I would have pushed something up here, conquering and then trashing and getting it back, But I also draw 2 this turn because I started my beginning phase with 1 card, so it is 1 or less. So I will draw with her effect, and then at my draw step I will actually draw a card, so I end up drawing 2. But now I have to decide how I'm going to do this. So I tap 4 for the Super Mega Death Rocket, dealing 5 to a unit, targeting the Misfortune. So she will die. And then I can... what should I do here? I move this here, getting another trash one, draw one, or gaining a point, trash one, draw one. And then I'm deciding what to trash. I'll trash that to grab this Death Rocket back to my hand because I conquered. And then, okay, I think I make a play mistake here. Donovan, please see it. Please see it. I'm gonna yell at myself. I'm gonna yell at myself if I don't. See it. Okay. So, I think I'm forgetting that this generates me a energy. So I have one left, and I have the cleave in hand. I should use this cleave to give my Noxus Hopeful +3 as an attacker, and then move into I forgot the land here, but move against his Buccaneer. Then it'll be 7 into 5. He has no runes up. I will conquer twice, gaining another point and also stopping him from getting a whole point. But I'm blind. Instead, I just decide to reinforce the Zone of Warrens for some reason. Don't think that's the right play, but okay. Yeah, he will gain a holding point. And I think this is when we realized that he was not using his Volley Bear effect. He misclicked that, I believe. Yeah, he misclicked that. I don't think he plays it this time, this game. But it is still scary hours for me because I'm currently at 6 might. I'm thinking about this card. There's a card, I'm forgetting what it's called, but you can play it to a contested battlefield, and I think it has 8 might, so it will just wipe out my battlefield because I'm tapped out, or my two guys because I'm tapped out. He plays his Dune Drake, or Dune Drake. English is a hard language. To his base, ready for attacking in the next turn. I think he just takes the whole point and leaves. Oh, he actually uses Mobilize to gain into the room. Yep, and then it's my turn. So I play this again to kill him. And recycle the room, please. I recycle one. I play his accelerate cost. Okay, I did recycle it. Okay, I just did it a bit awkwardly. To conquer again, and I gain a point for holding, so it's 4-3 currently. I get no effects for conquering that effect, I believe, or that other battlefield. I believe that is. What was that? I forgot what that battlefield does. I'll have to hover over it again. So I'm just assessing the battlefield, making sure everything is correct and kosher. I really wish I didn't misplay that last turn because, oh yeah, I'm deciding on what's gonna happen because he gets his effect only if my characters are active at a battlefield. He'll kill this either way. So I'm like, yeah, if you want to kill him, kill him. But these guys, I wanna have some sort of attacking power on the next turn, and I won't with just this Death Bomb in hand, and then maybe the Jinx if I can accelerate her out. But I won't be able to do both. I wonder if I really screwed myself by missing that rune on the first turn. I wonder how this game would have went. But yeah, he's at full rune, so I'm checking his unit one more time, and that once that comes down, I think I'm realizing like once that comes down, it's game over because it has 9 might, so I can't even insta kill it with the rocket, death rocket, and also deflect 2. So he. So I'll have to recycle for playing the rocket and then recycle 2 more for targeting him, and I won't even be able to kill him. So yeah, once that that Volibear comes out, it's really GG's for me. Because he also, when attacking, uh, uh, he gets to split 5 damage into the battlefield that he's attacking into. But yeah, I just talked over his entire turn. So he played this Carnivorous Snapvine, which deals, which, you know, it causes I'll say a fight between one of your, or with him, and one of my units. They'll deal their might to each other. I deal 2 into 6, he did 6 into 2, so my character died. And then he played first mate to ready the Snapvine, moving him into his own warrens, discarding one and drawing one, and then moving this other guy into this other place that I forgot the name of. Excuse me. Conquering 2, going up to 5 points. So now we're really in the pits. Oh, this battlefield means that we both need 1 extra point to win. That's what it was. So I played the Super Mega Death Rocket once more, and then I was debating here because I didn't know, because he had 4 up, right? I didn't want to attack into the Snapvine with 4 up with my 2 units, because I more than likely would just lose those 2 units if he had any any buff to get +2. So I believe this turn, yeah, I just decide to play this Vi, and yeah, move this Noxus Hopeful into it, just so I can get a conquer point, and force him to try to attack into me. And then I also get to discard one and add this back to hand. Not only does he have to attack into me with his first mate currently, he will have to buff said first mate to get over it, because it'll be 3 into 4. So he plays 10 for his Volibear, getting that out, recycling 2, gaining 1 rested, with the main Volibear effect. And yeah, now it's on the field, and it's in its real scary boy hours. He actually needs to gain a point as well for holding. So if I can hold here, I have a chance. But actually, do I hold here? I think I do. Oh, I remember what happens. I was too nice. I should have let him make his play mistakes and move forward. But we'll get to that in a second. So you'll gain the holding point. Does he move the first mate in? I think so. Oh, he plays Sky Splitter, right? So this spell says this spell's energy cost is reduced by the highest might among the units you control. Deal 5 to a unit at a battlefield. So it was free because his Volibear is a 9 might card, so it's 8 minus 9. All you have to do is recycle a red rune to use it, and so he just dealt 5 for 1 recycle, clearing my Noxus Hopeful, and then pushing the first mate into that other battlefield, going up to 7 points. And now it is extremely scary boy hours. So I will draw an extra card because I had 1 at my beginning phase, and this is what I missed. Oh boy. So I'm counting my runes here, making sure I have enough. I pay 3 in a recycle for that, and then I tap 1 and recycle another to have her enter ready, discarding 2. And then I can pay 4 in a recycle for Super Mega Death Rocket to get rid of the first mate. And then, yeah, so I misread the Immortal Phoenix, even though I just drew into it. I forgot that you have to pay 1 and recycle. I thought it was just recycle, like the other card for when you discard them, you can recycle the rune. It's not like that. They had extra. So I couldn't grab that Immortal Phoenix back to hand, and that actually comes up fairly or very important later. I do decide to use the Vi effect to return a card from my trash to my deck. pushing her up to 4. To deck bottom. So it pushes that Vi up to 4. And then I see they still have 2 up. So I want to move both of these in. So I'm attacking 8 and a 6. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy. They do have challenge, which means choose a friendly unit and enemy unit, and they deal mites equal to each other. So they choose my Vi and the carnivorous snap vine. So we were on a Discord call. We were in a Discord call. And I always like I want the least amount of misplays that I can ensure I know is real. So this card says choose a friendly unit and an enemy unit. They deal damage equal to their mites to each other. So the reason why this is a misplay is because they are already in a fight. Yes, you will kill my Vi, but then actually, yeah, you'll kill my Vi, but the Vi will still deal the 4 damage to you, and then my other guy will deal the next damage to you, finishing the fight. Actually, you'll kill both of these, finishing that fight. But you lose the carnivorous snap vine, or carnivorous snap vine either way. So I think the better play here, which I talked to him through, that you choose any friendly unit and enemy unit. It doesn't say out of battlefield. So he switches that to the Jinx and the Volibear, or the carnivorous snap vine, which still my Jinx is not an attacker, so she does not have the +2. So she will just die, stopping me from conquering here. And then this battle will go through, and I'm left with 1 unit here, and against a Volibear. So, you know, I will conquer at least, but I'm out of cards in hand, and yeah, I'll gain a conquer point going up to 6. But if I let them do that, I should have just let them do that. I'm too kind for my own good. But yeah, now I will essentially have no characters on my turn, no cards in hand either. So unless I get another Jinx or any other accelerate token, it's pretty much GG's. Actually, it's GG's either way, because he gains 8 points, and now he did extend the game by 1 more point because of his battlefield choice. So he still has to hold or conquer both here, which I don't. Does he? I don't think so. But yeah, I forget what happens after this, but I know it's pretty much GG's from here. You know what? That extra rune. Oh, that extra rune. Oh my god, that extra rune. Okay, so I do draw 2 for the turn. But it is only this discard guy. Let me go to it. So I draw an extra. So yeah, it has. I finally get this card where if you discard him, you can play him for recycle rune. At this point in the game, it's way too late, and also a whatchamacallit, the hide and seek card or whatever it is. So all I can do, or fight or flight, all I can do is move this back to the base, but at his turn it'll restand, and then they conquer both and win the game. So unfortunate, but GG's to my opponent here. And yeah, that is the Jinx game for today. So it's a pretty fun deck. It's a pretty fun deck, like I said. Without a couple of those misplays, I feel like I would have been in a better situation. Oh, right. So the reason why it was important that Phoenix should have been out would have meant that I had something to at least try to attack with here, or here, because I could, because my next draw would have been the fight or flight, right? I could have moved the Phoenix here, fighter flighted the Volibear back to the base, forcing him. Actually, no, it would have been GG's. It would have been GG's. It would have been GG's. Because I would have had no accelerates. Yeah, that would have been GG's. Actually, yeah, because it would have came in rested. Yeah, I should just not told him about the showdown card. That's my own fault. That's my own fault. That's my own fault. But GG's. Still a very fun deck. Still possibly the deck I will be building once these cards are officially released. But thank you all so much for watching. And next video will either be set or what is her name? Lux. It'll more likely be Lux, because this is another one of the easier decks to start off with. But yeah, so I will see you all in the next video. And oh, I'm forgetting all the YouTuber stuff. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe for more Riftbound. Try to upload throughout the week, take the weekends off. You never really know, so that's why it's good for you to subscribe. So I will see you all on the next one. Remember to support your local card shops, and goodbye.